Yeah, it's pretty cool to see this. Like I'm not someone who follows the aerospace industry a whole lot. So to hear you guys geek out about this is pretty cool to see. But yeah, this seems pretty awesome. It seems pretty revolutionary based on what you explained, Mo. I didn't even know that getting to 5 to 10 launches a day is a big thing. I thought like that's a normal thing, but again, this is from someone who doesn't know much about the industry, right? So that's pretty cool to see. So general, what is the average launch then? Is it just one a day or two a day even? What's going on, world? Welcome to episode number 10 of the Select All podcast. I'm Taran, the Dough Builder. I love everything about investments and wealth building. We got Mo in the house, Mo the grumpy engineer. He likes yelling at people at work. Every time it just so much fun saying that every time. We got we got Kulvinder in the house. Kulvinder, the coding nerd pro who loves programming in his spare time. And we got Ali, the marketer,
Yo,
back
I'm back.
from
I'm
his
back.
vacation. He's back and he's continuing on his mission to prove that marketers don't lie. All right. And today's show, we got a good one for you guys. It's a new year and we got a stacked show. So, in the product breakdown section, we're going to cover fountain.fm. Then we're going to dive into links.dev. And then after that, under what's hot, we're going to cover SpinLaunch as well as how the Ukraine military gets software created by civilians. So stick around to the end. It's going to be a fun one. All right, let's take it away, Mo.
All right. Here we have fountain.fm.
Yes, yes, fountain.fm. I'm excited about this one.
So what is this about? This is the first time I'm
All
hearing
right.
about it.
All right, so fountain.fm, it is an app. It's available on all devices. Now, everyone here listens to podcasts, yeah? Everyone on the group? We are doing one, so I'm assuming we all listen to them as well. What do you guys use for apps? Spotify?
I,
Overcast.
Pocket Cast.
Oh, interesting. We all use different apps. I use Podcast Addict. So
Hmm.
fountain.fm is another podcast player, but there's a twist to it because the podcast player resides on the blockchain. Um, no, sorry, I said that wrong. It utilizes the blockchain for streaming payments to the creators and vice versa. As a listener, you can earn by listening to podcasts. So right now, the apps that we use, all we do is we listen to it and we get value out of the ones we listen to, but we don't really earn anything. In fact, it's the creators that earn and possibly the platform that it's on, like Spotify. They make the money from ads and whatnot.
But
But
how
this
how
one,
the listeners? Where's the money coming from for the listener?
so it uses the Lightning Network, which is a layer two protocol within the Bitcoin system, Bitcoin ecosystem, and the listeners earn satoshis. And satoshis, for those who are not familiar, it's a unit off of Bitcoin. So one Bitcoin is equal to 100 million satoshis. In Satoshi. I'm doing this real time for you guys. One Bitcoin in Satoshis is 100 million Satoshis. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
So so you earn in sats. And so the sats are randomly earn based on your listen time. There is a limit to the listen time. So essentially the way it works is you download the app, you pick the podcast you want. Now, not every podcast is on the network. Obviously, the ones who are on are the ones that you can listen to. And so when you start listening to the podcast, what happens is as you're listening to it, as the seconds and minutes roll by, the satoshi ticker starts ticking. So for every amount of time, you earn a certain amount of Satoshis. And the Satoshis are generated randomly on a day-to-day basis. So your earnings change on a day-to-day basis. And what's cool is that not only do you earn it as a listener, but if you say like a certain part in the podcast, you can clip that part of the podcast and then you can share it within the app. And then if other people listen to that clip, you, not the creator, but you can earn Satoshis on that clip that you made out of that particular podcast. So I think it's pretty cool from that standpoint. And then as a creator as well, you can earn Satoshis. So if I listen to a podcast and I really like it, I really like what it's offering, I got some value from it, I can tip the creator in Satoshis. Right? So I think it's pretty cool. I just started using it for last week or so. I probably still haven't fully dived into it completely and figure out all the nits and tricks. This is from the little bit that I've done. But I think it's a pretty cool app, pretty cool that it uses Bitcoin. And it talks about this idea that I want to bring up. And the idea is,
So do we still know where the money is like coming from, or like where
That
they're
is my first question.
like
so
where
the
did
month,
that?
yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Let's
The
see.
only thing I would imagine is if maybe they have running ads in addition to like the podcasts themselves have their own ads, and then they're injecting their own ads.
Yeah, so apparently when you listen to ads as well, you get paid for listening to the ads too.
The only thing that's really keeping me on my app is the fact that I think all apps have this feature, which is like speeding up the episodes. But the other feature that really keeps me on mine is that it skips all the pauses and stuff,
Yeah,
and it
same
shows
with
me how much.
mine.
Oh, yours does that? So it's a popular
Yeah.
feature.
What? Yeah, I guess my thing is, where's the money? Like,
Yeah.
what does Fountain get out of paying me to listen?
Listen, I understand the sharing it because that's like TikTok
That's yeah.
sharing
That's
views and all
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's that. I think, yeah, that's a good question because I'm looking at their FAQs and I was looking at their FAQs, but I didn't see anywhere where exactly the money's coming from. Um,
it's for sure like actual Satoshi's real Bitcoin, not like some random
oh
coin.
yeah, yeah. Like I had to create a wallet and all and everything on the app
Yeah.
because you got to create a wallet to receive, right?
Could it be a temporary thing?
Is it a wallet you control? Is it not just a smart contract where like
That's a good
they'll rug
that's,
pull you?
yeah, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I know that I could send the Satoshis that I have right now to my own wallet
Mm.
outside of the app, right? So
And the last question is on average, how much Satoshis do you think you've earned?
I have it right here. So it actually tracks. So as of using it for a few days, I've earned about 562 Satoshis.
So 562 Let me do the math on this.
I think that's
Uh,
like 15 or 20 cents, if I'm not mistaken, or less than that. Yeah, so
we have you
go
said
ahead.
562, 13 cents.
Yeah, third. Yeah, I was close.
Not bad.
It could be if it's low. I don't know how many hours you've been listening, but if it's low enough, it could also be just a way to bring people back to the app, right? It's the same with like Shake Pay and stuff. Like, what are
Yeah.
they getting? It's just a way to keep people on the app because I might as well make 13 cents and just switch this app if I have all the features that I need, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point. It's like a almost like a gimmicky thing you're saying, just to
Gimmicky,
get
but
people
it's
back.
also it is real. It's like we are the we are like we're getting sold to on all these other apps.
Yeah.
It's like might
Yeah.
as well.
It's basically instead of like user acquisition cost
Yeah.
of like hundreds of dollars in marketing costs to get you there. It's let's just pay a couple cents, and now they'll stay in the app, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it? I guess it's like a similar deal as Brave, but I feel like Brave has a
Yes.
better, I guess, a better model. The only thing that really did struck out to me for was like marking the clips and then getting earnings for
Yeah.
your share.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So
um,
so
yeah, go on.
so if I could talk about this one thing here. So it's built on this model of value for value, okay? And so if I'm going to read it out from their FAQ here. So it says, what is value for value? So the value for value model was conceived by Adam Curry and John C. Dworak. It is built on the premise that content should be free and available to everyone. If the audience gets value from the content, they can choose to send some value back to the creator, depending on how much it is worth to them. Value for value is just one of many features of Podcasting 2.0, a movement spearheaded by Podcast Index to protect, extend, and serve the open, independent podcasting ecosystem.
You know, it would be cool if you got the Satoshis, but you don't get to keep them. You have to give it back to a podcaster or like somebody on the app or
Mm.
something. Because that'd be like value. I don't know what value. I guess for listeners, we're providing value by listening.
I think the tipping of creators is also a cool concept. I think Twitter's been doing this too. I don't know if they stopped now, but maybe the ones with a lot of followers can still do it, where they can receive tips for certain tweets they make.
I
I
was
believe
just listening
YouTube does it.
to the iced coffee hour, and they were talking about how like tipping is just like everywhere now.
Oh yeah.
uh,
Well, it is when I go buy something from the for takeout now. Like in the
yeah,
physical world, even takeout you got to tip. So yeah, tipping is everywhere.
yeah.
But yeah,
Totally
on
on
that
that.
last point about sharing, we got a little handy tool. It's a bit different from our regular products, but this is links.dev. I guess this is very specifically geared towards developers. It's just an easy way for you to create your own, I guess, unique web page for you to link all your professional links, like your LinkedIn, your GitHub, your Twitter, YouTube, Mastodon, etc. Um, I personally think this is cool just because like setting something like this up and maintaining the site to be like responsive and look nice. It's a lot of overhead, and if you're not a front end developer and don't enjoy doing that stuff but still want to have like an online presence, this is, I think, a really good tool for you guys to know. It simplifies your project or simplifies your setup and makes it look really professional. um, so this is, I guess, their banner on the project, but to set it up, you basically just have to open a pull request on their GitHub repo. Once it's approved, your link will be added and can be shared with the wider wider world. Um, I don't know. I thought this was a pretty cool project, and wanted to
Going
share
into
with.
GitHub, though, I think that's pretty intense. I think like, if somebody can do all that, uh,
I see your point, but this is just to save time, right? Like to make something nice looking like this, especially if you don't know how, if especially if you don't have the know how on how to like setting up a, I guess, a responsive site, setting up a place to host it. Like it's a lot of work, right? Especially if like you're just trying to get your name out. As in this economy, I know a lot of developers are, on the job hunt. So it's just a small thing to like, I guess, help you out on
yeah.
that search. Like
I
let's look at an
think
example page. Like,
that's it.
oh, sorry, this is not showing. Like, honestly, something like something like this is pretty, I don't know, like if you have the framework and everything, it won't take you long, but um just in general, like, why
I
spend
think
that
for
time?
individual use it's pretty good. I think
Yeah.
I've seen there's a few. I think I've seen other websites that kind of do this. Mostly for Instagram. I think they like to put your like Instagram link in your caption or your bio. The only thing I don't like about these services sometimes, or the way people use them, like they'll have their own website, an end user service. I think if you have your own website, you should definitely create a mini page like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Definitely agreed.
agree. If you don't have a website, yeah, I think these tools are great for that. Like, you don't have to worry. And like you're saying, managing it, keeping up with it, updating, doing all the updates, all that kind of stuff for sure.
Yeah, there are definitely other tools. I think Linktree is like a pretty
Linktree,
popular one.
yeah.
I wonder if Linktree takes some earnings based on who's clicking and ad routing. I'm not sure, but since this is being hosted on GitHub pages by the product, like
This
no
open
one's get
source, it's all like
yeah,
free.
this is all open source. Like if you wanted to, you could take the code and host it yourself.
I see.
But yeah,
So you can technically take the code
So
and tweak it to you what you need to if you're kind of comfortable with it.
yeah.
I'm thinking Linktree's. I think that's another thing I really don't like about Linktree and all that. Is just you have no control. Or if you want to add your Google Analytics, they might have that
Mm-hmm.
feature now, but if you need to add something specific they don't have, you're kind of stuck. But this would let you do that. Sorry, Terry, and I
Yeah,
think
so
that
how is this different from Linktree or any of the tens and thousands of other types of platforms like this? Because there's quite a few like this that do this
mm-hmm.
kind of things.
So I think like one of the main things is it's free and it's very specifically geared to like the handful of links that they're supported, which is like 99% of what links a developer would want to post if they were to post their links. Like I don't even want to show my website because it looks kind of garbage right now. But yeah, it's like the same things, right? Like I'd have my LinkedIn, I wouldn't have a Twitter, but I definitely have a GitHub, and then
why are there
maybe
supported links? Like, isn't it just like can you just plug in anything you want?
I'm not sure. I from the example page, like I was meaning to integrate this to my own
Yeah,
like
yeah.
site, but think I'm not
I
sure if
think you
they
got
support.
technical enough with it. You could, right?
Yeah.
I think you have access to the code. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I guess this is very technical right now, but I think so. Like you say the name, the description of it, URL to the image you want to
Yeah, yeah.
display, and then the link. And I guess if I were to be very to like the non developer crowd, it's just you're just telling it where it can find this image, what the
Yeah.
description is, and what it's going to link to, and then yeah.
Okay, so it's
So
like a it's meant for the, I guess, the coding geeks. So people who like programming and coding to sort of, yeah, I know, I'm looking at you, Cole, looking at you. Don't want to call you out, but you call yourself out. Okay, cool. So it's meant for that crowd then, and then you
Yep.
customize it by just coding it the way they
Mhm.
want it to be, want it to look, I guess. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Um, on to the next topic. We have.
Hold on. Cole,
Oh,
Cole, you anything to say about that, or no? You good?
No, I was saying we should probably move on to the next topic.
our next topic is. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart here. SpinLaunch. I think this was actually a topic we wanted to discuss last episode because it is a very exciting thing, but it just didn't fit in with the theme. But I think this is. I don't know. I feel like we're gonna look back at SpinLaunch and think about why didn't we include this, because this could be as revolutionary as SpaceX was, in that it would make SpaceX kind of, if the maths work out, kind of old school, you know. So what is SpinLaunch? SpinLaunch is an initiative to basically uh, yeet space shuttles into space. Why this is better than SpaceX? Because if you guys aren't aware or are not space nerds, a lot of the cost and engineering complexity with launching things to space is the fuel. Fuel is like I think what, like 90% of the weight of a spacecraft. Maybe call am I getting that right? Okay, so yeah, 70 to 90. um Sorry. But yeah, and like the hard part about it is the more fuel, like to go farther you need more fuel, but that's basically there's a hard curve that goes up as you add more fuel to get farther places. So SpinLaunch is what they're trying to do, is they're trying to rotate and spacecrafts fast enough to eliminate like a bunch of the fuel costs, so that they can make you can see a demo of it right now, to have enough velocity to breach the atmosphere, and they still have a ton of fuel left to do any I guess state like what's it called, space operations, I don't
So
know.
the spaceship itself is like spinning.
Yeah, so they have this test chamber, spins the shuttle around to gain speed. I think the fiber they're using is like graphite fiber, so it's like super strong, right? That's why um, you it can go at these high speeds without braking, and then once it reaches velocity, it just lets go and it goes up straight up, and yeah, hopefully breaches the atmosphere. I think they're supposed. I don't know when they're doing the test launch, but it's supposedly soon.
Yeah, I think it will be soon. They have a prototype that I think they're gonna try, but they've gotten pretty far. If you look at the videos, there's a cool YouTube series that kind of goes into SpinLaunch and they describe all these things. It's actually so cool to watch how far they've gotten. Um, and they're saying they can actually get up to about 5 to 10 launches a day, which would be insane. Excuse me, which would be insane.
Yeah, I think what SpaceX's like goal, like 1 or 2 launches a day, to not
Oh,
only like more than double that, but also probably cutting down a huge amount of costs. It's pretty crazy. But I think this is like a growing trend of like we're actually getting
yeah,
serious
race to
about
space.
space again. You know, that which is it's exciting. We're seeing a bunch of investments into space, and it's going to be an interesting future. And
Can we
to
invest
see,
in this company, or I'm assuming it's not public yet?
I don't think we got that kind of dough.
It's on the stock market. I'm sure we're good. I'll buy
Dough
one
builder,
$20 share.
we need you to build us enough dough to allow us to invest in
Yeah.
this.
I got you. I got you.
Ali does bring an interesting point. Like, it'd be cool on a public level to like invest in like these, I don't know, YOLO companies. Like, hedge funds do it all the time. Why can't, I don't know.
Yeah, general problem.
I think they tried it, and that's why we have a public stock market, is because there's a lot of rug pulls, and we're seeing that in the crypto space. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
bit of a tangent there.
No, this would be very interesting to see, and like, I was like, I wasn't sure if we'd see this in our lifetime, but it's like possibly, like, you know,
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see this. Like I'm not someone who follows the aerospace industry a whole lot. So to hear you guys geek out about this is pretty cool to see. But yeah, this seems pretty awesome. It seems pretty revolutionary based on what you explained, Mo. I didn't even know that getting to 5 to 10 launches a day is a big thing. I thought like that's a normal thing, but again, this is from someone who doesn't know much about the industry, right? So that's pretty cool to see. So general, what is the average launch then? Is it just one a day or two a day even?
um, I think space launches are very finicky things, and that like if you have one, it's planned weeks in advance, and
Oh wow.
if you miss the launch window, you're gonna
Hmm.
have to wait like for the perfect conditions again. Like, to cancel a space launch, they do it very often, but like it's something they don't want to do because things have to be pretty aligned for you to launch again, right? Just to go on a
Wow.
bit of a tangent, like especially for some of the more complicated missions, like for example, like the most one, like launching to Mars, you only do once every few years because
Hmm.
um, in a certain like you're waiting for the space between Mars and Earth to be at an optimal distance so that you can
Hmm.
use the less the least amount of fuel possible, right? But it's the same thing
Oh,
with like satellite launches, where you, to achieve like cost efficiencies, you're launching at
mhm.
specific time frames. Um,
Okay.
I think
to
it's a
like
very
yeah,
interesting measurement, like number of launches per day. Like that's like, you know what I mean? It's not like liters per 100 kilometers or just like a.
Yeah, it is interesting because as you were saying that, I realized you probably wouldn't have um, manned payloads using SpinLaunch, right? You would still need to use rockets for those. But for this, it'd be good to like send materials and things along those lines using SpinLaunch to those people, right?
I see. They're
and
smaller,
yeah,
smaller machines that can only hold like maybe one person, and not even maybe.
Interesting.
no, it's too much forces in that for a human to withstand. You'll be like spaghetti by the time we're done.
It's spinning that fast, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn. Is it like never mind. I was gonna say something stupid. What do they call it in the lab back in chemistry? The centrifugal force
uh,
or whatever? That's what it is, right? Okay, okay. Not stupid then.
All right, if we're good with this, we can move on. We're keeping it kind of tech heavy this episode, so not really, I guess, a product or a business, but just a general theme we're seeing. So this here we're talking about how like civilian software engineers are building public apps to help with the Ukraine war effort, right?
Hmm.
Um,
I'm very interested to hear about this. Like, do they have any examples of what kind of software
yeah,
is helping with war?
yeah. I'm trying to. I think one of them is like cross pointing. Like, let's look. But for what I remember is they have apps to like identify clusters of cell phone signals from Russian soldiers for
Very
artillery.
cool.
Um, yeah, there you go. There are apps for coordinating supply deliveries, finding evacuation routes, contributing to cyber attacks against Russian military website.
Oh wow.
This is
An
very
app
cool.
to yeah, an app to report movements of Russian troops, sending location tag videos directly to Ukrainian intelligence. Quite a lot of apps. Um, but if I take a step back and look at it, it's not that surprising because Ukraine, it was one of the, I guess, like there are a lot of Ukrainian programmers, so I'm not super surprised. Another thing I was like thinking about while I was reading this is that a lot of civilian technology has bled itself into this war. Like a lot of the drones being manufactured to do these like suits, like bombing runs or even scouting, they're all built with like off the shelf components, and it just takes essentially a hacker, like the old school electronics hacker, to like make these drones out of whatever components that they can find. It's not super difficult, which is really cool. Um, but yeah, what are your guys' thoughts?
I think the software, like these apps here, I know we talk a lot about how the future wars are all going to be digital and stuff, but I think this is like it's just bringing it to light, or like it's like it's actually happening. Like software and digital, like it can go a long way.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I'm trying to think of it from like the perspective of the people that built it. They probably were like, I'm a programmer. I'm not. Most likely they're not very like physically intimidating,
Hmm.
but they're like, I can program, I can help, but some of it is really like cool, like the evacuation routes. Like I wasn't even thinking about that, but that's something
Yeah,
you would want, I guess, in a war zone, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Wild.
Kulvinder's gonna bring his shoddy.
yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, but no, this is pretty interesting to see, and it's just kind of cool to see the country sticking together and just figuring out any way they like any way they can help.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's the biggest thing that I'm taking out of it too. It's like wow, like the country's really trying to win this war, and by any means necessary. And if that means creating an app to help, then yeah, let's do it. Let's create an app, and that's pretty cool to see everyone banding together.
Some of these apps might even is probably going to see use outside of wartime.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the evacuation ones, the one about coordinating deliveries. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like after this war, that might be a startup. Like,
yeah. No, for
Like
real, like
no,
the
think
what
about
evacuate
it.
any
deliveries?
It's
fire
like,
exit, all that.
yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, think like it is a decentralized way to deliver things in a wartime environment. So in a peacetime like business environment, like I wonder how. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to work better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could, it could.
Along with the war, like hopefully the war ends there soon enough, and yeah, it could be cool to see that this like the stuff that helped them out of the war is kind of what brings the country back up too.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
that delivery app though, like that's like regular deliveries. Like what deliveries? Deliveries of what?
I think
Food?
they're supply deliveries. I mean, in a
Oh,
war, you're
okay.
delivering everything, right? Like food,
Yeah, food.
ammunition,
Yeah.
parts, tools. Like, but I wonder, like, where, how does, how are these apps being like submitted to the public? Like, is there an app store? What are the logistics of the software? Yeah, Telegram,
Telegram. Yeah.
but I guess it's only for Android. I don't know if iPhones can randomly install apps yet.
What, Telegram can install apps?
You can link to an app.
Uh, but why bring up Telegram? Like, like why not WhatsApp? Or WhatsApp not working there? Or, like, what's the difference
I
between?
think it's a privacy thing. No.
I know in Egypt that you can't make WhatsApp
Security.
calls.
Oh, security. Yeah,
So what? WhatsApp doesn't work there?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I think Telegram is a security thing, though. I think WhatsApp having it being tied to a
Yeah.
number probably is part of it. I'm not sure. I forget why, but like Telegram does claim it's more secure than
Well,
WhatsApp,
no,
which
WhatsApp. No, WhatsApp is definitely. WhatsApp. I think. Sorry, I think it's all. It's like a two-in-one thing. Like WhatsApp is secure, but also not secure. Where like, um, I know in Egypt they don't allow phone calls on WhatsApp, and they say because like the rumor is because like the government can't tap into the calls. So how it's a two-in-one where it's like I think WhatsApp will sell the data to kind of who they want if it's actually true. You know what I mean? So it's like secure enough,
Mhm.
but it's also not secure enough. It's like a two and
yeah, I'm also wondering what the cyber attack apps are. Like I know there's I forget I don't know what it's called, but it's essentially a crowd based DDoS like app. Like you log into the net and it's just directing all of your net traffic towards the site. So instead of using bots, you're actually contributing your own uptime. But yeah, quite the interesting article. And I guess what was I gonna say? Like the innovation of war. I don't know.
yeah.
War does lead to some innovation, you know. Um, a bunch of innovations that we have nowadays has resulted from war, right? Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Um, with that, I think we're out of topics for this week. But in terms of the new year, I guess like the most generic question that I have is what are you all doing to like keep yourselves accountable, and how are you all keep improving for this year to come? Like 2023, let's God willing, this is all of our years, but how are you going to be accountable to yourself on that? I want to listen to your answers because I'm working on a system, but I need input.
I seen a meme on it was on Saturday or Sunday where it's like at Sunday it was like how are all your New Year's resolutions going? Are you waiting till Monday?
Well, I
And
mean, I did.
I was definitely waiting till Monday. So
Well, in terms of my New Year's resolutions, let's just say I ordered a cheese pizza tonight.
there you go.
Okay. Thin crust or thick
Yeah,
crust?
yeah. Domino's thin crust. You know what it is.
Nice.
I think the only thing I do is just like I try to remind myself, like, even if I start slipping, try to forget the New Year thing. I think I definitely set New Year's resolutions. I get into the whole hype of New Year's resolutions. Um, but I just try to remind myself that it's like if you slip, it's not just because a new year. Every day is a new day to kind of start again. Um, but that's kind of my accountability thing.
Not bad.
Yeah, I don't really do New Year's resolutions anymore. Uh, I was just talking about this to someone the other day because he asked me the same question, and I said I had to think about it, like, wow, I didn't really think about it because I tend to create routines and habits during the year, and so I view it as like, why do I got to wait for the New Year's to do it? If I want to change something, I'm going to do it right now, right? So.
Oops. Hmm. I was just
Sorry, I had to
joking. That
laugh
was
at that.
not my answer.
I had to laugh at that. Mo, you I literally thought you were being sarcastic, but okay.
For the listeners that aren't aware, we usually discuss the answers the next episode. But since we got the ball rolling,
Can we not
I
just
That's
agree.
turn
okay.
this down?
It's a funny one. It's a funny one. It's all good.
It's all good. We're new at this process. We're learning. We're improving.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's on our New Year's
Um,
resolution.
yeah. But no, I agree with both of y'all. I don't have a set resolution or goal
Mm.
anymore. I'm sorry. There's a very famous YouTuber or pretty big YouTuber called CGP Cray. Him and someone else, they created this like theme system
Yeah,
process where you're setting a theme for your New Year's, and that's what I've done. Maybe that's what the next question, then the question for next week will be. But yes, my my goals are now themed, so like it's vague, but it gives me something to work towards every day.
Yeah.
pretty good. And on that note, let's call it quits, guys. This has been a good pod. Thank you everyone for listening. Uh, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, or should I say, smash that subscribe button for the YouTube algorithm. Gotta say it. Gotta say it. All right, everyone. Until next week. Sayonara. Take care.
Peace.